Welcome to another episode of Drag Racing 97, coming to you from Willowbank Raceway in Ipswich. Today's event is the John William Auto Sales Nightfire Championships. In the professional categories, it features a round of the Dynamax Australian Pro Stock Championship. The drag racing equivalent of the V8 supercars have come from all over Australia chasing points in the series. On the local level, we've got another round of Willowbank Raceway's Top Comp Eliminator brought to us by Rocket Industries. We'll bring you all of the action from both of those categories, as well as a round of the Australian Drag Racing Series for the Sportsman. We've got Superstock Eliminator, Competition Eliminator, both brought to us by High Tech Oils. So it's going to be an action-packed hour of excitement. Strap yourself in and get ready for drag racing at its best. Sydney's Joe Polito was on a perfect score in the 97 Dynamax Pro Stock Series after victories at the opening two rounds at Calder Park Raceway. Can second place John O'Carney stop Polito's charge towards a hat-trick, or is it going to be one of the other strong field of Queenslanders? Rob Tucker has plenty of power aboard his Oldsmobile. The Pontiacs of Kym Petterwood and Mark Marchetti, Craig Hasted's Ford Thunderbird, and Mike Reilly's Camaro will also be making strong challenges. South Aussies are in town, with both Rob Quattrochi and Gerry Parente capable of taking this one out. Surprisingly struggling at this stage of the series is Toowoomba's Tony Wedlock. He invested heavily in a US engine for the first time, and it simply didn't produce the goods. He's now built an all-new homegrown engine, but has a lot of ground to make up.
Well, it's a well-known fact that at times drag racers do it tough, and none have done it tougher than Tony Wedlock today. His cylinder heads from the US didn't clear customs until 4:30 yesterday afternoon. They were followed by his crankshaft at 6:30 p.m. The night, well, he spent that assembling an entirely new engine combination, and he's just made it to the track, and hopefully he'll be in time for the last qualifying session.
With me in commentary as usual is Nathan Prendergast. Well, Nathan, the importance of qualifying, of course, only the top 8 cars get to race in eliminations.
Yes, Rob, especially with a class like Pro Stock, the field is so tight and everyone wants to get into that 8-car field. Quite a number of competitors here this weekend. One man that's currently in there at the moment is Joe Polito on screen now. In third with a 798. We know he can go quicker than that.
But have a look at Gerry Parente. He's down in the number 9 spot. He's not even qualified to race yet. The South Australian all the way from Adelaide. This is his last and only chance now to grab a spot in that tough field.
Well, Polito, we've seen a lot of him throughout the Dynamax Australian Pro Stock Championship so far. Has won the first 2 rounds. The cars are heading into stage. Let's see how they go. Parente to get into the field. Polito's already in there. Can he improve? The cars are going hard.
Polito across the line first, a great 789. That'll move him a long way up, and Parente into the 7s as well.
Well, that should put Parente in the field. We'll have to wait and see. Mark Marchetti, the Queenslander, on screen now.
He's up against John O'Carney, currently second in the Dynamax Australian Pro Stock Championship. There it is. Polito's gone all the way to 1. Parente's in 2. O'Carney's been bumped back to 3. The bump spot is now Kym Petterwood with an 810.
So little time separating these cars. It's very tough to get into the Pro Stock fields these days. Let's see how O'Carney goes. He was in number 1 coming into this session. He's in 3 at the moment. Can he improve? Marchetti still to get in.
Well, Marchetti 829, he won't make it. O'Carney 794, no improvement for him. He stays in 3rd spot.
From Queen Bean in the ACT, Bruce Leake on screen in the Oldsmobile Cutlass, up against a man currently on the bump spot.
Well, Craig Hasted, we see him there with an 8050. Bruce Leake, an identical 8050. Leake qualifies 6th because he did it first. That's the way it works in championship drag racing.
Hasted, the beautiful Ford Thunderbird, uses his pro car as a test bed for his own engine building service. The cars come out hard. Leake with a problem there. You can see the car with a big over rev slows down. Hasted, can he improve? 808, I don't think so.
No, Bruce Leake there with a problem. Craig Hasted, 808. He will stay in the number 7 spot at the moment. While Rob Quattrochi and Tony Wedlock on screen, the guy that's had all the problem just to get here. This isn't his last qualifying session. This is his first and only. You see him down there in number 11 at the moment with nothing on the board. Rob Quattrochi is qualified in 4th. He's run a 793 already. He's going to see if he can have a shot at that number 1 spot.
Yes, Tony has to get into the field, Rob. You can see the number 2 on the window, finished in the second place position in the championship. How many years?
5 years in a row, second in the championship for Wedlock. Quattrochi's in beside him. Wedlock needs better than an 8-1-0 at the moment to grab a spot in the field. Quattrochi's running away from him. Wedlock could be in trouble. 8:02, he goes in. Sue and the crew, after all the lack of sleep and the hard work, he's into the field. Kym Petterwood has been bumped out. Petterwood goes to number 9. We'll see it all in a minute, but Mike Reilly will also, I think, be in trouble here. This will be his last and only chance at qualifying.
Mike Reilly, a man not in the field. You can see him there in 10th with an 8:15. He has to run basically a 7-second pass to get into this field. Craig Hasted now on the bump with an 8:050. This is a very tough field, Rob Oberg.
Well, this gets really nerve-wracking for Craig Hasted and the Craig Performance team. I mean, they've ran an 8:050. If either Mike Reilly in this beautiful cylinder head developments Camaro or Kym Petterwood in the Pacific Performance car can run quicker than an 8:050, it's all over for Hasted. Reilly is out in front now. Petterwood starts to make a move. 8:050 is the target. Petterwood's there. 7:991. Mike Reilly won't make it. Petterwood will. So Hasted goes out of the field.
The final pass in Pro Stock qualifying is Rob Tucker. He's currently in the field in the number 6 position with an 8:003. I'd say, Rob, all he's trying to do is improve that position at the moment.
Well, yes, he's currently, as you say, in 6th. If he stayed there, he would run, I think, John O'Carney in the first round of racing, and that would be a tough run. This car's got plenty of horsepower. It's been a long, long time on Bill Mann's engine dyno, and if it works for him, he could do anything here. Tell you what, it looks quick.
Very quick, 7:87, that's number 1, the crew ecstatic.
Gone from number 6 to number 1. Incredible qualifying. Tucker up there in number 1 spot with a 7.87. Then Polito, Parente, O'Carney, Quattrochi, Petterwood, Wedlock and Leake. The unluckiest of non-qualifiers, Craig Hasted, then Mike Reilly and Mark Marchetti.
Very tough Pro Stock field. We'll have all the action from the first round of Pro Stock still to come.
Plus, of course, after the break, it's all the supercharged action in Top Comp Eliminator.
The Dynamax Australian Pro Stock Championship is the premier sedan category of drag racing in Australia. These cars are the quarter-mile sports version of the V8 supercars. And like their circuit racing cousins, these cars must maintain a stock external appearance, while under the skin, these cars are all high-tech racing thoroughbreds. The standard profile body panels are fitted on a space frame chassis, producing an extremely strong but lightweight race car, weighing in at less than 1,000 kilograms. Combined with a very healthy 800 plus horsepower developed by these carburetted V8 Chevys and Fords, the result is a power to weight ratio that easily pushes these cars to 7-second passes down the quarter mile at speeds in excess of 280 kilometres. Now, Pro Stock engines vary from 320 to 350 cubic inches. That's 5.3 to 5.8 litres. And to even up the competition, all cars with drivers aboard must weigh in at 6.5 pounds per cubic inch of engine size. The bigger the engine you use, the more weight you have to carry. And does it work? Well, consider this. Pro Stock races are won and lost by less than 1/10,000th of a second, and on far more than just one occasion.
Well, there's not much doubt that Pro Stock Eliminator is the most competitive category of drag racing in the professional levels. And just to get into the field is a hell of a job. Well, Rob Tucker did that in fine style. He goes into round 1 in position 1.
Yes, the number 1 qualifier in the first round of John William Auto Sales Pro Stock Eliminator up against Bruce Leake. Leake, the former Australian Pro Stock Championship, I think it was 1994, he won that. You can see Janine Tucker on screen now as Rob backs up the Oldsmobile.
2 Oldsmobile Cutlasses, a major difference under the skin. Tucker's car built in Australia by Mike Reilly Race Cars. Leake's built in the US by Don Ness Race Cars over there. And a big hole shot to Bruce Leake. I tell you what, Tucker's going to have to run some sort of incredible number here to catch him.
Leake's out in front, gets there, and 8.02 beats a 7.98. Tucker was quicker, but it was that hole shot.
Have a look at Janine Tucker in replay. This is real time coinciding with the run. Urging. Nosey's in trouble. Damn, all over. The top qualifier out in the first round, and they'll have to wait until the next round of the Dynamax Australian Pro Stock Championship. Look at that. Rob Dixon can't believe it. His guy, Bruce Leake, is into the semi-final after just scraping into the field by the narrowest of margins.
John O'Carney completing his burnout. He's up against Rob Quattrochi in the Valvolines Mobiles and More Chevy Beretta from South Australia. Very tough customer, this one.
Well, John O'Carney qualified number 4. He's currently second in the Dynamax series. Rob Quattrochi's a bit further back in today's field. Quattrochi qualified 5, O'Carney 4. In theory, this should be the closest race of the first round of eliminations. Now, O'Carney, he needs this one to have any chance of catching up to Polito. That car was awfully loose off the start line. I think the upsets are going to continue.
Certainly does. Quattrochi 7.94 for the win, 272 kilometres an hour. Wheel spin, and look at the crew guy off the start line. Knew it straight away. O'Carney with massive amounts of tyre spin as he left the start line there. The crew walked forward now to check it out, but Rob, it was all over the moment that car left.
The car just turned the tyres. Have a look at it on the replay. It went nowhere. Instantly struck the tyres, spun them on the spot, and by the time he recovered, Rob Quattrochi was long gone.
Gerry Parente now, another South Australian in this beautiful Oldsmobile. He's in beside Kym Petterwood. Petterwood in the final qualifying session was in 9th, ended up in 6th. That puts him in beside Gerry Parente, who was the number 3 qualifier.
Yeah, qualifying, absolutely unbelievable. They just shoved themselves around like the deck chairs on the Titanic, and unfortunately the ones that sank were Hasted, Marchetti and Reilly. But Petterwood, well, he's got a chance to put one of the Queenslanders through into the next round here. The Pacific Performance Pontiac, always well. Look at that, Parente has rolled the beams. Tell you what, it comes down to the patience of Kym Petterwood here. If he goes through in stages, it's all over for Gerry Parente. Petterwood has waited a long time. Parente being guided back now. He hasn't come back far enough, Nathan.
No, Robbie staged the car with the back wheels. That's an automatic disqualification. The lights go green and Parente's race is over. Petterwood's got the win. That's bad luck. It looks as though Parente went to bring the revs up. The car's pulled through, but Petterwood, 8.01, gets the win.
Well, there's one Queenslander through to the next round of racing in John William Auto Sales Pro Stock Eliminator. Now, here's the man that burnt the midnight oil, the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and all the way through oil. Tony Wedlock, of course. No sleep for him or the crew right through the evening, all day. Only just made the last round of qualifying. Got into the field, and what happens? He comes up against a very, very tough Joe Polito.
Yes, Polito, winner of round 1 and 2, both of them held at Calder Park Raceway. Wants to make it the hat-trick here this weekend. Has been one of the quicker cars of the 97 Pro Stock season. You can see Joe's son in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Watch him on the run.
Oh, Tony, he's got his heart in his mouth now. He knows Wedlock's tough. Wedlock went out with Polito, but Polito's got the speed. 783, 275 kilometres an hour, and the Polito crew start to celebrate already.
Very happy with that as we move into the second round of Top Comp Eliminator.
Rocket Industries bringing us all the supercharged cars. Kevin Campbell in the 34 Ford Coupe, and the Campbell and Scott team have been doing just so much promotion with that car, it's not funny. Fantastic for the sport of drag racing. Not so fantastic now. There's the message from car owner Bob Scott. They've got a problem. The car will be pushed back. Looks like Steve Swinscoe will go on his own in the Speedworks funny car.
Well, Swinscoe gets the automatic move into the semi-finals. Not a bad berth for him considering this is his first ever full race meeting. Did debut the car earlier on in the Top Comp season, however suffered some serious engine damage. He's only got the car back now, and this is a great showing from him.
He's doing extremely well. One of the real likeable guys. Calls this the plumber's toy because this is what he does for relaxation on the weekends. Well, the Campbell and Scott team will have plenty of work to do before the next meeting. Swinscoe comes out of the line hard. It's a supercharged big block Chevy, 7.7 seconds, 285 kilometres an hour.
Dave Wallace now up against Piedy Selman. Pat Selman over there in the altered. Another good example of the open cars up against the sedans.
Dave Wallace, as I say, has been stepping up the Brisbane Drive Shafts Commodore very, very progressively right across the series. Pat Selman having his first run in Rocket Industries Top Comp and looking fairly confident at it, I've got to say.
Wallace on screen now. The crew member comes over and removes the throttle stop. Obviously that's designed so the car does not over rev in the burnout.
Yeah, big horsepower from this big block Chevrolet, and of course you tend to bury the boot in the firewall in the burnout. The car doesn't have traction. It's very easy for it to rev up, and have a look at that. Piedy Selman's crew says yes, because he saw the red light from Dave Wallace. Wallace saw it as well, backs off. Piedy says, I've got it, thank you. 9.89 seconds. He's through to the next round of Rocket Industries Top Comp.
Tom Coonan comes out now up against Glenwright. Oh no, Coonan, the fire's gone out there. Short burnout for him, and I would definitely say that small block has stopped.
Look at the experience. He pulls it straight over the side of the track in case there's any sort of serious problem with leakage or anything. But the way that thing shut itself off, I've got an idea, something electrical. Well, that gives these guys a hell of an advantage. Bob Brackham's car it is. Dave Glenwright doing the driving, the Romac Performance Products, Top Alcohol Dragster. They came here to test, to run in Rocket Industries Top Comp and get a little bit of exposure while they're testing for the Winter Nationals.
Well, Glenwright has pedalled this car to 5.76 seconds, which was one of the quickest passes in the country. Gary Phillips has run 5.75 at the Nationals at Calder Park, but official news from Eastern Creek, which is running at the same time as this event, Gary Phillips has run 5.70 seconds, so Rob, I'd say that's what they're aiming at.
They'll be fighting back, that's for sure. This looks pretty good. 581, 386.4 for Glenwright on the solo. Boy, oh boy, this whole action tonight is unbelievable.
As always in championship drag racing, safety is of paramount importance in pro stock. And a quick look inside this car demonstrates just how much protection the driver is provided, with a personal capsule of bar work within a standard style roll cage. Now these capsules are exceptionally strong. They maintain the driver safely during an accident, protect against impact, as well as allowing him the ability to drive the car effectively without hindrance. Now with 5 speeds to get through in just 7 seconds, many drivers use multiple levers. Each time a lever is pulled back, the car moves into the next gear. And each gear change must be effected at exactly the right RPM, otherwise valuable seconds can be lost. At the finish line, this car is going to be travelling between 270 and 280 kilometres an hour. And that's when this parachute becomes the most important piece of equipment on the car. As the name implies, Pro Stock may be a little stock on the outside, but underneath, it's definitely all pro.
Semi-final time now for the John William Auto Sales Pro Stock Eliminator. And of course, all these guys are desperate to get points in that Dynamax Australian Pro Stock Championship.
Well, this just shows how close the pro stock field is, Rob. Bruce Leake was the number 8 qualifier, and here he is in the semi-finals.
Up against Rob Quattrochi from Victoria from South Australia, in the Valvoline Mobiles and More Chevrolet Beretta. This guy looked to have a stranglehold on the championship last year. It just slipped away from him late in the season. This is his opportunity to put some real points on the board. Oh, have a look at the clocks, Nathan. Quattrochi has red lighted by 1/1000th of a second.
Leake's slower 801 gets the money.
Bruce, it hasn't been an easy run for you this evening, but you're into the finals. You've got to be pleased.
Yeah, very pleased, because my wife said don't come out without getting in the final.
And you know what happened on that last pass then?
No, they said Rob red lighted, but we left together, and then he passed me, so I thought, oh well, maybe we've been struggling, so he's definitely been faster all weekend, so I just figured, oh well, time to drink beer or something, but no, I'm glad to be in the final.
Well, Bruce Leake's luck is holding so far. How must Craig Hasted feel? He qualified with the same time as Bruce Leake, saw Rob Tucker have a late light against him, then a red light by Rob Quattrochi. Hasted could have been into the final instead of Leake. That's the luck of drag racing. Now the other finalist will be decided between Kym Petterwood in the Pacific Performance Speedflow Products Pontiac and, of course, series leader Joe Polito.
Listen to the revs build up. They'll bounce them off the limiters, waiting for Petterwood to go into stage. They'll nail the throttles. They come out hard. Polito's the man to beat at this time.
Tell you what, Petterwood was right with him, but again, I think it's the speed of the Ford. Polito, a 787, 272.
Well, Joe, you're heading the points championship and another berth in another final. How do you think you're going to go against Bruce?
Well, I mean, it's never over till it's over, but we're confident, and Bruce has had a bit of luck his way all night, and we hope that we can sort of make it 3 in a row.
Of course, Nathan, it's also a round of the Australian Drag Racing Series for all the sportsmen's categories, including High-Tech Oil's Superstock Eliminator. We pick up the action at the semi-final. Shane Bowden driving Murray Wilkie's Pontiac Trans Am up against Dave Tucker in the High-Tech Oil's Camaro.
Yes, David Tucker's had an unfortunate last couple of rounds here at Willowbank Raceway, but it looks as though he's got back on the combination into the semi-finals up against the new driver in the Wilkie car.
Bowden with a red light, and the crew guy just ducks his head and says, oh no. Tucker's seen the win light. That's why he's backed off all the way back there in the high-tech car. He'll get the win anyway, and he's going to be up against either this man, James Woody Woodward, in the B-modified sedan Pontiac Trans Am, or Colin Lloyd in the head-sense cylinder heads Commodore. Lloyd, of course, the reigning Australian champion in Superstock, and won the recent TAC Nationals down at Calder Park.
Yes, Lloyd, a very experienced customer. Woodward in the beautifully presented car. Both of them heading into stage now. A lot like Pro Stock in the sense they'll bring the revs right up. Watch Woodward launch the car. A lot more settled off the start line. We have seen some big wheel stands from him. He's out in front at the moment, but here comes Lloyd.
Tell you what, Lloyd has got him, I think, but not by much. Lloyd across the line first, 9.55 in the headsense car. Stay with us, plenty more action after the break.
The next major meeting at Willowbank Raceway is Saturday night, May 10, when Coca-Cola bring you our Wild Bunch meeting. Those supercharged, tyre-smoking sedans return to Willowbank's quarter mile, together with Frank Gaffero and his Bandad Bullock. That's the truck, the twin-engined, turbocharged truck that recently set Surface Paradise alight at the Indy Carnival. Don't forget, Willowbank Raceway, Saturday night, May 10.
Well, it's over 10 years since Frank Gaffero's Bandag Bullet's been at Willowbank Raceway, and I'm sure they're going to pack them in on May the 10th. Back now with the action. Rocket Industries Top Comp Eliminator, Steve Swinscoe in the semi-final. He's got a bye run. He doesn't have to do much to get the win here, Nathan.
No, not at all. Just has to stage the car, which he has done. He's got the green light. Not bad for his first ever full race meeting. Straight in the final.
Well, these guys have to fight for it, though, of course. Dave Glenwright on screen, and now Pat Selman, Piedy, in the supercharged small block T-bucket, up against that big Chrysler-powered top alcohol dragster of Bob Brackham's. Dave Glenwright has already run 580, 581, etc., etc. His best yet is a 576. I think he's going to be trying to nail it on this run. He's dialed in. He's nominated a handicap time of 5.78 seconds.
Of course, interesting to note here, Rob, is that Top Comp Eliminator running between the sedans and the open cars. None of the sedans have made it this far. We've got an altered, a dragster and a funny car. The funny car's through to the final. Will it be a dragster or an altered?
Well, no racer has made 2 finals yet in the Rocket Industries series. There have been different finalists in every single round. That's going to continue here again. Glenwright is out and chasing now. Look at that huge handicap start. Selman's a long way in front. Glenwright's got him. Too quick. He has run 5.74. Selman gets the win.
Well, Dave, you've broken out with a 5.74, so you've lost your place into the finals, but I'll bet you're still happy.
I'm very happy. We've come in tonight to improve on our 76 from December, and we've done that. So we're very happy. We've made a lot of changes today, so we've really cut down our options for coming into the Winter Nationals. So we've got a lot of new equipment ready and on its way here. So we're looking good for the Winter Nationals, I hope.
Now, Gary Phillips, of course, has just run a 5.70 down at Eastern Creek, so I guess you're still looking for that first 6 pass?
Yes, and I think we've shown a lot more horsepower than Gary. We ran 2:45.5 in December. That run was a 2:41 or 43 then. We have run a few miles an hour quicker than Gary, so we've got a little bit of a horsepower advantage. It's just like to work out a combination now. I think we'll be right on. I mean, we've got probably a little more chance at the moment, even though he's run a slightly quicker ET, 400s quicker. We're very confident we'll be the first into the 60s that winners.
Well, here at the John William Auto Sales Nightfire Championships, we run many categories of racing. Here's our opportunity to give you a look at them all. It's the finals, the final junior dragster for kids 8 to 16 years of age. Jordana pulling in this lane, Jessie Aaron's chasing her down. Jordana a long way out in front, but I think Jessie's got some top speed.
Looks that way, 12.05 at 73 kilometres an hour for the win as we move into the final of Modified Bike Eliminator. Jeff Roos up against Trevor Sage.
Trevor Sage, an Australian champion in Modified Bike Eliminator. Jeff Roos has been doing pretty well here tonight. This should be a good confrontation. They are wheel to wheel. Dial your own handicap racing in Modified Bike. The win goes to Trevor Sage with a 10.05.
Next pairing out in the Superformance Super Street Final, Wayne Nipperes up against Ross Munster.
Ross Munster has been racing this HT Holden since the days of Surfers Paradise International Raceway. It started with the 253 and 3-speed column shift, would you believe? Now, of course, running the small block Chevy and Auto, launches hard. Nipperes to do the chasing. Munster out in front with a better reaction time. Nipperes and the EH is trying hard. This will be one to the wire, wall to wall. Nipperes across the line first, but breaks out.
Munster the win, 11.92 as we head into Super Sedan Eliminator Final, brought to you by Craig Performance. Super Sedan category of cars running between 10.99 seconds and faster.
John Wiggins in the Cortina. V8 powered Cortina up against a V8 powered Corolla. Wiggins with a red light. Neil Maxwell in the 302 Windsor Ford powered Corolla. He's got the win automatically. Wiggins across the line first. It doesn't matter. Maxwell wins it with a 10.48.
Modified final now brought to us by Kenlow Race Cars, and it's Ray Merritt on screen up against Graham Frawley.
A pair of Chevy small block powered dragsters, still with this dial your own handicap system. Ray Merritt on screen now, the fuel injected V8. He gets a big handicap start. Now comes Graham Frawley. Tell you what, you'd say he's got no chance. But look at the top speed from Frawley. An 8.57, 2.43. He takes the Kenlow Race Cars bracket.
Supergas final now brought to us by Headsense Cylinder Heads. And it's Ian Nielsen on screen in the Tirana.
Ian Nielsen up against Warren Sichter in his recently repainted Ross Consulting Commodore. Ian Nielsen actually runs for Headsense Cylinder Heads, the bracket sponsor. He's out by a couple of car lengths. I can't imagine Sichter will catch him.
Looking for a 9.90, 10.04 will get the win though, 207 kilometres an hour.
Comp Bike Eliminator now, and there's no dial-ins here. They run on index just like Superstock and Competition Eliminator. That's Rhett Lockheed on screen, an amazing Kawasaki of less than 800 cc's, up against Gavin Eales on the Wiseco Serco Pro Stock motorcycle. More like 1300 cc's for Gavin. He's got to give away a fair sort of handicap start, and Rhett Lockheed's going to take some catching.
Lockheed to get out first now. He's got to be chased down by the very quick Pro Stock motorcycle, but a red light left on the tree.
Yeah, Gavin Eales with a very narrow red light. Lockheed across the line. A brilliant 8.63. That's a long way under the index. Stay with us. We've got all the big finals coming up after the break. All finals time continues. Competition Eliminator brought to us by High Tech Oils. Steve Humilisto in the T-bucket. up against Rob Baxter with a big block forward powered T-bucket, but that doesn't sound all that healthy, Nathan.
Not at all, Rob. A lot of RPMs, but the car doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Humilisto just backing up now from the burnout, and you can hear the car of Baxter starting to rev up.
Now revved down. He's shut it off. There it is, 0 on the tacho, 0 on the oil pressure gauge. He's shut it off. Humilisto going to take his first ever win in High-Tech Oil's competition eliminator with no one beside him. I reckon he'd be laughing already.
Yes, cruisers are through with an 8.86 for the win.
Well, congratulations, Steve. Rod Baxter had some problems there, giving you the win in competition eliminator.
Had a lot of luck all night tonight, actually, and it's been a long time coming, but it's nice to have a win finally. I've been doing this about 7 years and haven't had a win yet, actually, and a win in a final, I should say, and I'm wrapped. But everyone else had a lot of bad luck. That's all I can say. So survival of the fittest, I suppose, and here I am.
Final now of High-Tech Oil Superstock Eliminator. James Woodward's in there. Where's Colin Lloyd?
Well, Nathan, believe it or not, these cars have to weigh a specific weight in every round of racing. Colin Lloyd's car came in 3 pound light. That's less than 2 kilos, just a little bit, not enough fuel probably when he topped up the tank between one round and the next. He's been disqualified. James Woody Woodward has been reinstated and he will face Dave Tucker in the final of High-Tech Oil Superstock.
Well, that's good news for Woody. Let's see how far he can take it, but he is up against a very tough customer in the High-Tech Oils Camaro in the form of Dave Tucker. Bit of a dry launch there for Woodward. The crew comes over. Whoops. Let's keep the door shut before you do the launch.
Well, Dave Tucker coming into stage now. Woodward will get the handicap start. There he goes. Red lights, left just that fraction too soon. His luck hasn't been able to hold tonight. Dave Tucker's going to drive it through. 919, long way under the index.
Well, Dave, winner of the High-Tech Oil Superstock Eliminator in the High-Tech Oils Camaro. Another win under the belt.
Yeah, finally again. It's been a long struggle, you know. I said I was going to be back for the New Year series, just before the New Year series, but had a lot of problems with the car, and we've just gone back to the old combination, and it's come through again.
It's time now to update the Winter Smash Repairs Track Championship scoreboards. In Modified Bike Eliminator, Wendy Parsons hangs on to her lead from Peter Batley. In Superformance Super Street, Ricky Steffens still out in front from a fast-closing Ross Munster. In Craig R Performance Super Sedan Eliminator, Aris Contolian still in front of Neil Maxwell. While in Ken Lowe Race Cars Modified Eliminator, Russell Schaefer, Paul Beecham, Graham Frawley having a great battle in front. In Comp Bike Eliminator, John Parker, Gavin Eels and Rhett Lockheed will be in contention. While High-Tech Oil Super Comp Eliminator sees Greg Lay, Dave Tucker, Colin Lloyd all well in the running. A new scoreboard is the HeadSense Cylinder Head Super Gas Series. Ian Nilsson out in front from David Goldie and Warren Sichter. The Rocket Industries Top Comp Series for the Supercharged cars sees John Payne hanging on to a lead from Tom Coonan, Debbie Reed and Andrew Searle.
Down to the pointy end of the race meeting now, and it's the final of Rocket Industries Top Comp Eliminator.
Pat Selman into his first final. Steve Swinscoe likewise. Swinscoe in the Chev Beretta funny car. Big block Chevy, supercharged, fuel injected. Pat Selman, of course, small block Chevy, much less capacity, still fuel injected and supercharged. He will be getting a handicap start from Swinscoe, but there's not going to be all that much difference in the start this time.
Yes, it should make for a very good final, Rob, and I'd say that it's been a great showing from Swinscoe, considering that this is his first ever full race meeting with the new funny car. But at the same time, Pat Selman, this is his first time with the supercharger in Top Comp. We've got a great new set of finalists.
This is Piedy Selman's first meeting in probably 2 or 3 years with this car, so it's been a great comeback for him. They'll go in very, very carefully. There's a lot of points at stake. There's bonus money from Rocket Industries for the series winner. They know that nobody's been in a final twice. They've got as good a chance as anyone. Selman in front. Here comes Swinscoe. The funny car gets it 770-265.
Well, that was an absolutely fantastic race in the final of Rocket Industries Top Comp. We'll go to the replay now and have a look at how close it is across the finishing line. Not much in it at all, Rob. Steve Swinscoe, very happy with his final.
Well, Steve, a first-time finalist, and you've topped it off with a win in the Rocket Industries Top Comp Eliminator. Now, both of you were first-time finalists in this race, so it must have been any man's guess as to who would win it, and you've got it.
Tell you what, after the first time we raced this car, we've had a bit of trouble, but this has made my day. First time out, and actually in the final. First time in about 4 years.
Time for the big final, Pro Stock Eliminator now, and it's Bruce Leake coming from the number 8 qualifying position up against Joe Polito.
Well, Polito, can he make it 3 in a row in the Dynamax Australian Pro Stock Championship? Tell you what, this John William Auto Sales Night Fires has been absolutely brilliant. This is the big final to finish it. The number 2 qualifier up against the number 8 qualifier. But Bruce Leake, as you said, 94 champion. He's had a bit of luck on the way, but he is close enough that if Joe Polito even sneezes, Leake can take all the money.
It just shows you how tight the Pro Stock fields are these days when number 8 can come up and make it all the way through to the final with such ease.
Well, I think if you look at the non-qualifiers, any one of those could have been here as well. That's how tough the whole field is. Come out together, Leake's in front. Now Polito's got him, put a car length on him by half track. The Ford's too quick in the top end, 786, 275 Ks.
Well, Joe, winner of the Dynamax Pro Stock, and you've just extended your lead in the championship series, of course.
That's great, 3 in a row. We really came here to win this one again, and we're looking forward to win the next one.
Once again, another great race meeting here at Willowbank.
Yes, and you can keep up with all the detail of what's happening at Willowbank on the internet. The address there on screen at the moment. It'll tell you what's happening at Willowbank, what is going to happen. We look forward to your company again in May with the Coca-Cola Wild Bunch on Drag Racing 97.